All right, let's keep it in the good old NBA in the association. Despite, keyword despite, cameraman, going to the Eastern Conference Finals with the New York Knicks as their head coach, and this was for the first time in 25 years. Tom Thibodeau is out of there. Decision seemed out of nowhere, but according to ESPN, I got some reports on this that this has been a concern for quite some time with Thibodeau and multiple reasons. Guys, was this fair or foul? Start with you, Coach Locke.
To me, I think this is foul. I know they've been talking about it for a while. I know Tibbs runs his players into the ground, and that's always been a knock on him. He doesn't play enough players, and by the time they get to the playoffs, they gassed out or they get hurt or they are hurt because of that. But at the end of the day, the Knicks ain't made the conference finals since 2000, man. They hadn't been in the playoffs since 2013 until Tibbs got the job, and they made it his first year as the head coach. Yeah, they lost in the conference semifinals in 2023 and 2024, but they hadn't been in the playoffs at all until he got the job. So he gets them to the conference finals finally, and then you fire him. I just don't understand that. I mean, yes, he didn't get to the finals, but hell, there are 28 other teams that didn't get to the finals as well.
That's right.
So for a organization to not have a lot of playoff experience and conference championship appearances in the last 25 years, you fire your coach to get you there for the first time in 25 years, I think that's foul.
Yeah. I think it's foul as well. And I love Tibbs, but you look at it's very similar to what Mark Jackson did with the Golden State Warriors. They're gonna get somebody in that's gonna take them over the hump, and we just won't get the credit going back to Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson hasn't coached again. I don't think Tibbs will coach again. It's two totally different reasons. This team was finally able to have people root for them. It's a watchable ball club for the first time in 25 years, like Coach mentioned. And Cat, man, and listen, I love Carl Anthony. My guy. You know, I think he's a great basketball player, but Cat done got this man fired twice, man. And I'm watching him play in them last two games. Carl Anthony Town has no clue of what's going on defense. It's like when they have defensive meetings, he is on Instagram because he has zero clue what's going on. Bro, he had one block in the last two series. One block.
Yeah.
You're 7 feet. I ain't asking you to protect the rim. I'm asking you to help side and get at least 5 blocks in the series, man. That's tough, man. You can't have two of your best players that are defensive liabilities. One is fine, two is a problem. That is how you build a team.
Yeah.
And it's tough being a coach in the NBA.
Oof.
You got Mike Budenholzer fired in 2021. I mean, in 2023 after he won a championship in 2021. Mike Malone won a championship in 2023. He's fired in 2025. Mike Brown goes and ends the 16-year playoff drought for the Kings, and he's fired in 2024. And then the Knicks make the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 100 years, and Tom Thibodeau is fired the next week. It's tough, but what sucks is the person that comes in, and whether that's Lloyd Pierce or if it's Jason Kidd, hell, it could be Ime Udoka, they're going to get all of the credit that what Tom Thibodeau instilled in this team. The question then, we can get out of here and go to halftime.
Okay.
Because you got to go too, Jeff, my bad.
You are good.
But the rumbles is that Rick Brunson is half the problem.
I can see that.
If Rick Brunson is the problem, do you not bring Rick Brunson back and alienate your star player? And maybe he asked for a trade. It's tough, man.
It's tough. You have to bring Rick back because Jalen Brunson gave you the homie deal, gave you
the daddy discount.
He gave the discount on that, so you got to honor that. But to kind of put my spin on what you guys were saying, I think this is fair. I think Leon Rose, I think Worldwide West, I think the owners of the Knicks looked around and was saying, we should have beat the Pacers.
That's right.
We had everything. After beating the Celtics, you beat the best team in the East on paper, what people consider the best. Injuries, whatever you want to look at. You beat the Celtics. You shouldn't lose to the Pacers, and you shouldn't have lost the way that you did. So you look around, and you say, what happened? We got out-coached. So if you feel like you got out-coached and you're too dependent on one player, because there's advanced stats to show when Jalen Brunson isn't on the court, Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns, the other guys play better when Brunson is on the court because the offense just runs through Brunson.
Mm-hmm.
So now Brunson has to look around and say, okay, how am I? He is the point guard. How can I be a better point guard for my teammates and make my guy and get my guys better? Yeah, so a better offensive philosophy. I understand we want to talk about defense,
Yeah.
but a better offensive philosophy is what's needed in New York for them to continue to be competitive because the East is going to be wide open next year.
And who is that person?
Mike Malone.
Ooh, Mike Malone.
Mike Malone or, and my bad, I forgot it. I didn't put his name down. I just put the coach, Villanova's coach.
Jay Wright ain't
Right.
doing that.
Nah, yeah.
But why not? This is guy. Those
Yeah,
is guys.
yeah,
You
nah.
coach your guys.
Because they're about to get rid of Mikal Bridges, Cat, and
can't
2 picks
Damn.
to get Giannis.
You can't do that.
That ain't enough.
It's enough.
You damn lie. You damn lie.
I think that's enough.
Damn lie.
I think
Bring back Mitch. That starting 5 is now Brunson, Josh Hart. You put somebody, OG at the 3.
Yeah.
You got Giannis at the 4, and you got Mitch at the 5. That's enough. And then
No.
you fill out that bench.
I think coach was saying it's not enough to get Giannis. Is that what you were saying?
Nah.
Nah, he's saying it ain't enough
I don't
to
think
win.
I don't think it's enough to win.
That-
Mikal Bridges, you gonna miss Mikal Bridges.
You got OG.
Yeah, but now you had both of them, so now you only got one. That was their advantage.
Yeah.
One is in, the other one's out of the game. Pause. But now you bring Giannis in. Now you clogging up your paint.
But now you got a defender.
You got a
gotta
defender,
defend.
though. You got help side now.
Yeah, but on the other side, I can clog up the paint for Jalen Brunson now because I ain't got to guard Giannis out there.
If I get Giannis and I got OG, as much as I joke about OG last week,
Yeah,
but OG's defense, and getting rid of Bridges gives OG more shots.
Mm-hmm.
It gives Josh Hart more shots. Campaign gets to play run.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, right? So I think if you can make that move, you the Knicks. I think you do it.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it.